Right. Now before I set up startup root senders, I'm going to introduce now the CDP protocol, the Cisco Discovery Protocol. In that, if we use that CDP command, we could see router 0, if we are using router 0 as an example, neighboring devices, which will be the switch, and this router 1. How do we do that? Let's go to router 0. Right? And we are already in privileged exec mode, so we're going to show CDP. Right? And we could say that CDP is on by default, Cisco devices. And we can see that CDP packets is sending every 60 seconds. Its hold time is 180 seconds and so on. And we could also show another command. If you are supposed to say show CDP and go up arrow and put a question mark, you will see we have some ideas here now, some entries. We could show CDP entry, and I'm going to show what this means here in terms of showing us the IP addresses and so on of our specific neighbor devices. We could also use the show CDP interface command, which I'm going to show you how it is done, especially when we want to shut down one interface. We'll take off CDP, I should say, my bad, take off CDP on a specific interface instead of disabling CDP across the board. And then we're going to execute this command here, show CDP neighbors. So let's try show CDP neighbors and see what it brings up here for us. In this command here now, we are seeing that the neighbors are routers and switches. As you can see, the serial interfaces. So CDP brings show us the interfaces of the router, which is R1, as well as the switch, fast Ethernet, this neighboring devices, this router 0 neighboring devices, this switch here. Right, as you can see it. Right, no VLANs has been configured on that switch, and we're gonna look at the show CDP details in a while, and we will see that. And we also see in on router 1 serial interface is up as categorized by R. So let's show a CDP detail. Right, and we could see in the show CDP detail command, the switch's entry address is not configured because we haven't configured any VLANs on that particular switch. Right? However, on router 1, we have the entry address, which is the IP address that we give router 1. Right? And so on. So you can see how dangerous this CDP command could be when, because it actually gives us a lot of information, and sometimes people with network administrators just prefer to take off CDP by default. And how do we take off CDP by default? We could type a command. For example, we'll have to go to config T, and we could type the command no CDP run. Right? And this command will turn off CDP globally. Right? I'm going to put back on CDP. So let's type the command CDP run. Right? And what if I just wanted to disable CDP on one interface alone? Just one interface alone. What I will do, I will just type the interface of that. Let me just say interface, and that will be interface fast Ethernet 0/0. Right? I'm going to get into the interface configuration, and then all I'm going to put is no CDP, and I'm going to put the question mark so you will see what command will comes after enable. Right? And that will turn off CDP on that specific interface. Right? However, if I want to turn off CDP by default, then I just use the command no CDP run that was specified a little earlier. Alright? So, again, if we want to find out about, as you can see when we type CDP, show CDP, we only see the neighbor devices, this switch here and this router. If you want to pick up this other switches and so on, what we need to do is to telnet into this router here and run the CDP command from the telnet prompt, and we will see these switches and so on being shown up. Alright?